Riley.
And I'm Frank.
And we have to record what we're doing because we have to send a video to our supervisor. He's out in Virginia at the command center, so he couldn't be here today. So what we did was what we're calling the PERTI quality database. So starting off, the Air Traffic Control System Command Center initiated a new program called PERTI, and then this program is headed by Joe Rather, which is our supervisor out at the command center. So starting off, what is the Air Traffic Control System Command Center? Basically what they do is they balance the NASA's capacity with its demand. They do this through multiple ways, but we're going to focus on a couple of traffic management initiatives, which are ground delay programs, ground stops, reroutes, and airspace flow programs. PERTI, so what is PERTI? So PERTI is a NAS-wide ATO initiative. It involves resources and analytics, and then it enables the command center to take a more proactive approach towards getting around things that we'll discuss here shortly. So PERTI stands for, because the FAA acronyms everything, plan, execute, review, train, improve. So plan strategically, meaning we're going to look a couple days out in advance. Execute tactically, so let's execute that plan. The big thing is review. So we're going to review how that plan went. Did it go according to plan? Did we have to change it? And then from that review process, they're going to train people on how to do that and manage certain things. And then improve is obviously just the end result of the previous two keys. So this is kind of before and after. So today, the command center kind of came in and put out fires as they happened. They didn't really take a proactive approach in doing things. Now they're doing a 5 to 7 day outlook at things like weather, NOTAMs, noted construction, things like that. And then execute, I mean, obviously you're going to do the plan that you plan. Review, again, this is kind of where it comes in, is that before it was kind of, they just reviewed and said, eh. But now they're actually taking notes on what happens and diving analytically into what keeps occurring to recognize trends. And then train, again, that what they call is a discrete activity. They never really delved into it. It was just kind of a, let's not do that again. Now they're going to actually use this information to proactively train people in their respective areas. And then again, improve just comes down to the other aspects. That's just going to be the result of doing it. So there's a lot on here. Instead of reading it all off, we'll just kind of get down to the basics. So what it allows them to do is it allows them to staff accordingly, making sure that people are there when they need to be there. And then it better optimizes daily available capacity. So again, it makes the NAS more efficient. And then this was a slide that I wanted to steal from them for this bullet point right here, because this is what we did for them. We gave them a tool to quantify and measure the performance of the program, which is what we're going to dive into here shortly, but I just wanted to show that. Okay, so here are the project's inner workings. So we're going to show up a daily assessment. Okay, so every day they make one of these. This is the daily assessment on how PERTI went. So up here we have 4 categories: constraint identified occurred, constraint identified did not occur, constraint not identified but occurred, and unexpected event. So the green one, obviously green's good. They identified a constraint, they made a plan, they used it. The yellow, it's not bad, but it's not good at the same time. It's kind of a gray area. They made a plan, but they didn't end up using it. Red is bad, meaning that they just had to make up a plan because something happened. They didn't have any plan for it. And then unexpected event is something you can't plan for. Like, for example, this one, this was the day I chose this one because this is a couple days ago when American had a fire on ORD. So I chose this one because, I don't know, that's something that you all know. Obviously you can't plan for that, so it has to be segregated from other data because it's going to skew results. But the big problem with this daily assessment is that it's not quantified. It's just all information. So what the problem they had is how do we quantify this information to actually give us performance results. And that's kind of where we came in. So you can go ahead and go back. So this is what we created in response to that. Now I'm not going to go over how it all works, just because we'd be here all day. But this is the block of information. So we have our days. I'm sorry that it's kind of hard to read. We have our days and we have our airports. And any day can represent up to, I guess, 5 categories. So we have the planned did occur, planned did not occur, unexpected event, and then not planned did occur. Then what it does is it draws this information out here, here, and then here as well. And then you segregate it weekly over here. Yeah, that Excel's really touchy. So if you're going to gauge performance on a weekly basis, you have to segregate it from the overall performance, because you need to see that week by itself compared to the previous week. So that's what down here was that we can't see any longer. Over here is a running total. So that gives us a specific airport's overall performance since the start of the program. This is just the overall performance for the initiative. Sorry, I probably should have started out, because we have our ground delays, our ground stops, our reroutes, and then we have our comments section, which I'll let Frank go over. And this kind of gives you the overall performance. So if you scroll right a little bit. Which gives us this little chart down here, which is your overall performance. And then this comes from this, which is overall performance over time. So you can actually see and trend data. Are we improving over time? Was that just a fluke, or is it consistent? Things like that. The ground stop performance section is the exact same thing as the ground delay program. There's just a lot more airports if we were to scroll up. So that's that. And then reroute section is a little bit more simplified, because there's thousands upon thousands of reroutes if you're ever to dig into that. And tracking them individually just would be, it'd be an impossible task. So we just kind of quantify them on a daily result, which category they fell into, PO and PD and DDB. And then the comment section.
Yeah, so the comment section, it's pretty simple, but it's a really important aspect of it. So what it does, it gives context to all of the numbers that you see in the spreadsheets over here. So if you go to the daily assessment, you'll see over here that in the daily assessment, they give comments as to why the ground delay programs happened, why they didn't happen, why they weren't planned for but did occur. So pretty much all we did was we took the comments section from over here and transferred it to here. So if you want to see right here at SFO, since we started doing our project, there were 26 plans that were planned for and it did occur. There were 10 plans, 10 ground delay programs that weren't planned for, or that were planned for but didn't occur, and there were 2 ground delay programs that weren't planned for but did occur. So if you want to see why that information is the way it is, you can't figure that out just by looking at all these numbers that we have on here. So then you go to SFO in the ground delay program, and you see all of the information as to why it happened on certain
Low
days.
ceilings.
So it just gives context as to all the numbers that you see in the Excel spreadsheet.
All right, so I'm going to be talking about our weekly recap that we did. So Ryan already explained the 4 categories that we had. So if you want to go to the next one, it kind of shows green is good, yellow, it's that gray area, and red's not good, and the light blue color that you see here is the unexpected. So if you go to the next one.
So this is for ground delays.
Correct. This is for the ground delay programs, and so we have the all time that we did during the semester that we, all the data we took, and then we took these 2-week samples, to kind of show you that these weeks were positive compared to our all-time performance. Green is much larger, red's a little bit lower, and so that would have been an improvement over what we've expected, over the last few weeks that we've done.
Yeah, Joe mentioned that over time they want to see the green slice of pie get bigger and the red slice of pie get smaller, and the yellow areas kind of like gray.
So continued on the ground-related programs, we have another chart here that kind of shows the overall, but one thing we wanted to plan out here or show to you guys is that Phoenix was the number one with these 2 weeks that had the top planned, and it did occur, and that's because runway 8 had some issues there during construction and whatnot. So they had planned for that, and it occurred those days. You can tell it happened six times during these 2 weeks. And so this is just another one, but with the yellow. So we're focusing on the yellow. So that's planned but didn't occur, and so you can tell it kind of just starts shrinking down. So we go to the next one, then we talk about the not planned but did occur, so the red. And you can see it's pretty good. It's steady at 1, which is, is reasonable. We have fires, we have other occurrences that happen, and so you can't always be perfect, and the FAA is well aware of that.
All right, so handing off our project to Joe. So as of November 6th, our project was done, and our package included the PERTI quality database, which is what Ryan talked to you about, the weekly recap, which is what Riley just said, and then the training videos, which is what I'll show you. So the intent for the training videos was just to give them a way to learn how we did everything on our end without having to set up a phone conference and explain to him over the phone how we did everything. With the training videos, they can revert back to them whenever they need to if they run into a problem, because we explained essentially everything that we went over, all the problems that we ran into, and everything. So the first video, the first video was a general overview of the database, just a brief general synopsis like Ryan showed you, what the ground delay program section is, what the ground stop section is, what the reroute section is, and what the comment section is. Video number 2, the how-to basics. So this video was a tutorial on how to do basic things like manipulating and rearranging the data. The Excel spreadsheet that we created wasn't super complex, but for somebody who isn't extremely proficient with Microsoft Excel, it might be a little bit intimidating at first. So this is just kind of showing them what formulas we used, how to rearrange the data, and how to manipulate the data. Updating from the daily assessment. So it's a video tutorial on how to update the PERTI quality database from the daily assessments. Like Ryan was saying, the daily assessments are all informational based, and we wanted to quantify that data. So this is how to take that data from the daily assessment and put it into the database that we created. The weekly accumulations. So you start with taking the data from the daily assessments, you put it into the Excel spreadsheet, and then from there you can make the charts and graphs like Ryan showed you. And then after that, you take the charts and graphs and you put them, you take the charts and graphs that you created and you can put them into the weekly recap PowerPoint, which is what Riley talks about. This one's a little bit longer of a video. We ran into some formatting errors when transferring the Excel graphs and charts into the PowerPoint. So this just goes over how to avoid all of those mistakes that were made and all of the formatting errors that occurred. The last video that we did was just all the extra information. It contains 2 items that had to be implemented after the previous 5 videos were made. It is a new section that allows performance tracking over time and a system patch for multi-category days.
Okay, so here's kind of like our overall results, because we started this day 1 of the semester basically, and we've been updating it the entire time for them and running these weekly recaps to show them, hey, this is what your performance is, and then we handed it off to them as we drove to a close here because, hey, we got to do our end now. So GDP for performance, so we have 48, 34, 18. So we're kind of running almost about 50% planned occurs. And then, next slide. But what really tells the tale is the overtime, which is the one of the things covered in the extra information video. As you can see here, the PO, which green's good, is trending upwards over time, while the PDs are trending downwards, and the NDs, not planned did occur, trended downwards and leveled off, which is good. So over time, if this continues, this previous slide before, the overall performance is going to get bigger. The PO percentage is going to increase. So that's good. Everything's good there. over here is our ground stop performance. Now ground stops kind of by nature are a more reactive TMI as opposed to a ground delay program. It's, oh gosh, it's getting overloaded, we need to stop them. So you know, we have 24, 44, 26, and 6. But what you see over time though is that the PDs are decreasing. So that's trending downwards, but unfortunately, while PO are slightly trending upwards, the not planned did occurs are trending upwards at the same rate. So while the planned didn't occurs are going down, the not planned did occurs and the planned occurs are going up at the same rate. So that's a primary area of focus, which is what we told them, is that your ground delay program performance is good. It's increasing. I think you guys have found something that worked. The ground stop performance is the area that needs the most attention. And then the reroute section, you know, we got 43, 28, and 28. So here's another program that, you know, it's not going great, but it's not going bad. It doesn't need the attention as much as the ground stops do. Again, it's kind of a reactive initiative as well. You know, a storm blew in over here, oh crap, now we gotta move them around it. So it's gonna be sporadic, like you see here. So you're kind of going to have to go off the previous graph mostly, but if you wanted to get down into it, it's there for you. All right, so moving forward. So this is kind of a big issue for the quality control departments in the FAA right now. Moving forward, what our group suggestion is that you implement this program, or you make a program that automatically draws this information from a program that writes a daily assessment. So automation is key. A big problem that the quality control departments have, like I was saying, is that the people with the skills to solve the problems are stuck doing data entry tasks to identify them. So their time is being sucked up in a way from actually solving the problem. So that's our suggestion to them.
Yeah, and they're doing that every day. You saw that Excel that they had sent with all the green. They're doing that every single day, 7 days a week, and so that can add up.
And then our conclusion is, so ultimately what we gave the Air Traffic Control System Command Center, or the PERTI team in general, is the foundation for a quality control program for a QA initiative. So we gave them a way to gauge their own efficiency and performance from what wasn't quantifiable before, and hopefully improve the efficiency of the entire NAS. No questions? Okay.
I actually have
Okay.
a couple. How do you quantify the plan measure against performance? Because I understand you have ground delay program, ground stop, so on and so forth, but I guess what I'm thinking is that any time you have humans doing this and measuring something, you have the potential for subjective error. So I know you have your training videos and everything else, but how did you assign a numerical factor if it was the objective was met? How did you do it?
Oh,
How was
here,
the rating
pull
system?
up the PQD. So based off the 4 categories, right? So you have planned occurred, planned didn't occur, not planned did occur.
Right.
So what we do is we have the airport here. So let's say on Sunday the 5th, they had a plan and it didn't occur. We just go off what they say. We're not on their end of where they say that plan did occur or that plan.
That's my point.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, how do you that's exactly it. Anytime, and it's good, what you guys did is great, but I think how are you maintaining the integrity of the inputs that lead to the output? Because you have bad inputs, this looks great, it's great, or you have different people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be optimal if you had one person doing it to maintain consistency through having a set ranking methodology to do it. That's my question. Is there a way to do that, or is that done?
That would be a question for Joe, because that's on their end, on what they.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and it makes total sense.
One person's meat performance, maybe another person's, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering how they're going to the tools are good, but if you don't know how to use a shovel, it's useless.
No,
right?
and that's actually something that we did along the way, is that when we made this, we made them analyze how they're categorizing things. How they did that, I don't know. We were he wanted us to focus more on quantifying the data that they're submitting, not help them submit it.
Your tool's great. Have you ever heard the term garbage in, garbage out?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of this stuff, unless you have consistency of input, your data can be skewed.
Oh, of course.
And so I'm wondering if they have a quantifiable approach at the command center to determine if this is successful or not. Whatever the program is, ground delay, ground stops.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do we actually plan for it to occur, but all the different categories? I'm wondering more a little deeper, how are they training their people to decide if something was met or not? Otherwise, you're not gonna get good outcome. I mean, you got a good tool.
Yeah.
I like what you guys have done. I'm just wondering how that's gonna be.
And I mean, that's gonna be part of the process, because it's a new initiative.
Yeah, but there needs to be a QA to check.
Yeah.
See, that's my point.
Yeah, no, I get what you're
There needs to be a way
saying.
to check to make sure that that tool's being used appropriately. That's something they need to do, maybe a different project.
Yeah.
Make sure that all the people that are rating are doing it within the boundaries of what the rating system says. As long as that's done,
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys are appropriately quantifying and tracking that, you're gonna get your data. If somebody puts something in because of the subjective analysis, and then, by the way, that's what happens. The FAA has people come in, come out, and go, usually more than one person doing stuff like this. So I think their big issue, once they have this great tool, is making sure they're consistent in the application of the data that goes into the tool. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. It just, I kind of took it on faith that they knew what they were doing. I wasn't gonna question
Well,
them.
if you're gonna get an
Yeah.
applicant, do it on faith, that they actually
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And if they're a person there, no shot against you, like, that's since I worked almost 30 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and if this is being recorded, Joe, God bless you. Godspeed, Joe. But I think that's gonna be the big issue, not the tool.
Yeah.
I think the tool's great, but if they can maintain the integrity of the data, it's very useful.
Oh, and that's what we hope that it is of use to them.
Sure. Right.
All right, I guess we're done.
Looks like a very useful tool, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I think you did a really good job in laying the foundation, like you said, for future work. So this hasn't been done before, you guys, developed it, and here it is. So I think it's a great initiative that you guys did. It's very well done.
Thank
Good
you.
job, guys.